Welcome to another episode of my blind buy video journal in which I'll review 5 perfumes I've added to my collection in the recent months. Some of them were purchased secondhand or swapped, but in the end I will tell you were they a blind buy fail, blind buy just okay, or blind buy success fragrances. Few of them are new 2024 perfume releases such as Givenchy L'Interdit Tubereuse Noire and 2 Kayali's perfumes that are a part of the K in a bottle set, and those are Marrakesh in a bottle, Orange Blossom 24, and Capri in a bottle, Lemon Sugar 14. So stay tuned to find out which one might suit you the best, and welcome back. I'm Miri and here we talk in depth about fragrances. So let's start with the first one, and that is Kayali Marrakesh in a bottle, Orange Blossom 24. As I mentioned, this perfume is a part of the K in a bottle miniature collection, and Mona, the founder of the Kayali brand, said these fragrances should be your passport to paradise. Not everyone can travel every summer, but with these fragrances you can travel and escape to different destinations for summer holidays through the power of scent and imagination. This perfume should take you to the city of Marrakesh in Morocco, known as the Red City after the color of its buildings. But how this perfume smells, and will it truly transport you to Morocco? Marrakesh opens with spicy orange and bitter green neroli. And neroli soon, like 30 seconds after applying, overpowers the soft scent of orange blossom, and it gets pretty loud, but at the same time you can smell some spiciness and pepperiness that gives a soft Middle Eastern vibe, and well, no wonder, since this perfume should transport you to Morocco. Pink pepper smells almost a bit incensey and woody. So imagine incense sticks burning next to an orange tree. This is the opening. It's citrusy green, bitter and floral, but also spicy and woody. The opening might be too sharp and too spicy for some, especially if you're not a big fan of pink pepper, but as the scent dries down, orange blossom and rose start to become more prominent, although you can still smell green, bitter, and slightly soapy neroli. Orange blossom is quite bright and floral without fruity nuances it usually has in other fragrances, so don't expect to get a juicy, fruity, cheerful orange scent. You won't get it here. It's not very sweet or creamy either, but it gets sweeter as it dries down. And rose here has some spicy, sensual, exotic vibe because it's mixed with pink pepper and it's garnished with deeper, woodier hues. So overall, it has a slightly mature feel. In the heart, Marrakesh in a bottle is a combination of sweet orange blossom, rose, incense, and soapy neroli. So imagine you put an orange blossom in your hair, you're washing your hands with soapy neroli, while in the distance you can smell the scent of rose, incense filling the air. This is a sweet but also spicy floral fragrance that smells like a love child between the soft orange blossom from Kilian's Love Don't Be Shy and spicy pink pepper and rose from Kayali's Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper 25. If you mix those two fragrances and added some bit of soapy neroli, you will get Marrakesh in a bottle. And in the base, neroli gets really soft, so what you're left with is orange blossom on top of the woody, slightly earthy, and a bit green background. So imagine you're sitting on the wooden bench next to an orange tree blossoming, and this is it. The scent is very floral with prominent orange blossom and rose, but it also has spicy, citrusy, and woody facets. So if you don't like spiciness, if you don't like neroli or very floral fragrances, I think you will struggle with Marrakesh in a bottle Orange Blossom 24 because the scent smells grown up and it has slightly mature vibe. This is a warm and mysterious fragrance because of the Middle Eastern incensey spicy facets, but it always smells sophisticated. My cousin visited Morocco and she says that spiciness and orangey feel in here do remind her of the Morocco. The scent is pretty, but it doesn't smell very unique, and the most disappointing point is the performance. I get maximum 4 or 5 hours of wear, and the scent projects moderately for like 2 hours, and then it becomes a skin scent. I'm quite disappointed that Kayali launches so many new fragrances every year, and some are really pretty, but performance is something to be wished for. So I feel like they should focus on quality instead of quantity of their fragrances, and you can see it leaks. Yes, this is an easy spray and go fragrance. It smells nice. It could be worn for fancy vacation or any other dress up occasion. But in my opinion, although it is pretty, this was a blind by fail perfume for me, especially the bottle leaks. So I would rate its scent and performance with 6 out of 10. But if you love orange blossom in perfumes and you need to get everyone, then yes, check this one as well. Another perfume from Kayali's Vacay in a Bottle miniature set collection is Capri in a Bottle Lemon Sugar 14. As Mona said, this perfume was inspired by a walk on the island Capri in Italy, where there are lemons everywhere you go. The scent should be bright, very sweet and addictive. How it smells. The opening is very bright, fruity and very sweet, like very, very sweet. It's definitely sugary and I can smell lemons, but they are overpowered by sugar sweetness. Lemons don't smell sharp or zesty like, freshly squeezed type of lemon. They don't have sour cleaning products vibe, and they don't smell like lemon baked goods or lemon dessert. Therefore, I wouldn't describe the opening of Lemon Sugar 14 as the scent of a lemon pound cake, because this is not as dense and heavy and desserty enough for that image. To me, lemon here has candied vibe, and also it has some melon and pineapple scent mixed with stronger lemon aroma. Therefore, imagine lemon slices completely covered with sugar or the scent of very sweet lemon hard candies, and this is how the opening smells. So initially you get citrusy fruitiness mixed with delectable sugar sweetness. As the scent dries down, the overload of sugar sweetness from the opening melts down and the scent is slightly less sugary sweet. It's a bit lighter and airier, and therefore it could be worn on very hot days during the summer. Raspberry infusion gives that slight iciness and airiness, but raspberry isn't very prominent, and also I don't get any freesia or florals in this perfume either. But what I can smell is some vanilla that comes out and gives syrupy, creamy denseness, and also there is some synthetic note in here, and therefore it's very hard for me to imagine when smelling this a realistic scent of lemons or lemon cake because of that synthetic-y scent that is always present, but it's not off-putting by any means. The scent has some freshness and airiness, but not enough to describe the dry down of it as the scent of raspberry lemonade either. So imagine lemon and raspberry sorbet melting in the heat, or even the scent of lemon and raspberry icing on a vanilla cupcake. And this is how the dry down smells. It's almost a cotton candy-like sweet, very creamy and vanillic scent with citruses and fruits. And at the last stage in the base, you just get slight sweetness and bits of muskiness, and this is it. This is very yummy and sugary sweet citrusy scent that smells young, fun, energetic, and it gives good vibes. Is this sophisticated, complex, and elegant perfume? Of course not, and don't expect it to be, because you will be disappointed. This is something when you want to feel youthful and carefree and not overly elegant and classy. If you like perfumes like Acrobatic, Dolce & Gabbana Devotion, and Sergio Lira for autumn and winter, you will like this as a summery, less serious and less complex version of such lemony gourmand scents. This one does feel more juvenile than the other three I mentioned, especially because of the sugar sweetness and that somewhat synthetic edge. If you hope this will be very fresh, juicy and fruity fragrance, well, you will probably be disappointed because after all, most of Kayali fragrances are just sweet, and this is no exception. I love Lyra and Devotion, so no wonder I really like Capri in a bottle as well, but the performance could definitely be better. I get about 4 hours of the wear, and the scent projects for an hour, and then it turns into a skin scent, so only those who hug you will be able to smell it on you. Also, some complain this smells a bit cheap and juvenile, and it definitely doesn't have a classy vibe, but I don't think this is just a teenager fragrance, although it does smell youthful, sweet, happy, sunny, warm, and for me it is such a mood lifter. Capri in a bottle is a daytime fragrance and it's just delicious. I do like it. It was a blind buy success for me, but because of the poor performance, I would rate it the most its scent profile and performance with 7 out of 10. It is slightly too hyped up, but nevertheless, it's delicious and super easy to wear if you want to smell like lemon hard candy and not overly serious. If you want something to lift your mood, then check out Capri in a Bottle Lemon Sugar 14. The next perfume is from Yves Saint Laurent's Lavalliere de Perfumes signature collection, which reinterprets emblematic wardrobe creations of Monsieur Saint Laurent, and in this fragrance, the featured piece of clothing is Lavalliere, actually a thin silk scarf named after the Duchess of Lavalliere, but it could also be worn as a tie for men, so it is a gender-neutral piece that was often worn as an accessory on Yves Saint Laurent's catwalks. This fragrance tries to give the same unisex effect to the fruity rose scent. It comes in a sleek, minimalistic but stylish and timeless square-cut glass bottle with textured magnetic cap that mimics tuxedo fabric. I love the pink hues of the juice, but how Lavalliere actually smells. At the initial spray, I get some greenness and freshness. You can smell the scent of rose stems together with green fig that has a subtle creamy texture, but I also get some tart, sour, woody black currants with their leaves, and that combination gives me an impression of bell pepper or even tomato leaf, but it's fruity at the same time. I know it's weird, but I have a garden. I grow my own vegetables, therefore I grow tomatoes as well, and this unmistakably smells like tomato, at least to my nose. Although it is pleasant and it is infused with citrusy freshness and bitterness as well that smells like grapefruit, even though grapefruits aren't listed in the notes. Imagine grapefruit slices with some rose petals decorated with green tomato leaves. This is how the opening smells to me, and when I first smelled it, it was too rose heavy, too green and spicy for my liking, but with time it got better. Fig adds some aromatic greenness, rose adds slight sweetness and timeless appeal, blackcurrant adds this uplifting fruitiness, while grapefruit gives a watery, sparkling, citrusy tartness. I enjoy the dry down much more because it's more balanced, it's more floral, and it loses the tomatoey leaf scent I could vividly smell in the opening, although you can still smell some fruity and green nuances from the top. Usually rose in perfume smells powdery and makeup-y. Sometimes it can smell dusty and dried. Sometimes it smells like a jammy rose. Sometimes it can smell a bit mature, but rose here has a watery and freshly cut vibe. Because it's combined with jasmine that gives slight powderiness, geranium which brings a citrusy touch, and vetiver that also has some grassiness and this green herbalness. The scent of roses has garden-like feel, like you can smell stems, leaves, thorns and petals all at once. In the heart, Lavalliere smells to me like blackcurrant and fig mixed with the scent of morning rain pouring over roses in the garden, so you get a combination of watery green rose with some fruitiness. It smells fresh, clean, fruity and floral, like you're inhaling fresh, pure air after the rain in the rose garden. And in the base, fruity rose scent just becomes a bit woodier with soft muskiness, and it smells lovely. Lavalliere isn't a sweet perfume, but at the same time, it's not completely devoid of any sweetness. Mostly this is a fresh, green, fruity take on a rose with some woody touches that give some depth and grounds the fragrance. I'm not a big fan of the opening that leans, in my opinion, very masculine, but the dry down is sweeter and it's so much more floral, more feminine, and it becomes a very pleasant green, watery, fruity rose scent that is unisex but feminine leaning. And because it smells very fresh and fruity, it would be better for warmer weather, for spring, summer, and early fall, and mostly for daytime use. If you dislike the scent of roses, yes, you will struggle with Lavalliere, but if you love fruity floral fragrances and you don't mind some green and woody hues, this might be the perfect perfume for you. On my skin, it lasts 6 to 7 hours. Initially, it's very strong, but then it becomes moderately projecting fragrance. It truly got me out of my comfort zone because the opening is a bit strange for my taste, but over time, I started to like it more and more. So in the end, this is just a blind buy okay fragrance for me. I would rate its scent and performance with 7 out of 10, and if you want a watery, fruity, green rose perfume that lasts, that isn't too sweet and that smells grown up and classy, Lavalliere might be something you will enjoy. After L'Interdit Eau de Parfum was launched in 2018 as the interpretation of the one Audrey Hepburn used, it expanded its collection to almost 20 flankers, including limited editions. This perfume is a part of the Les Fleurs Interdites sub-collection, which translates as Forbidden Flowers. And to be completely honest, this isn't a complete blind buy, because when it became available in Croatia, I ran to the store to quickly sniff it, and I remember I loved it. But I kind of forgot the scent and I forgot what I loved about it, so it was very hard to track it down to buy it, but now it's finally here. Tubereuse Noire is the first release in that Forbidden Flowers limited edition created around rare and narcotic flowers. It features the elusive scent of burnt tuberose petals, and it should transport your senses to a forbidden flower garden. But is the scent truly that enchanting? When you first apply it, you can smell some freshness and this slight grape bubblegummy feel you also get in L'Interdit Eau de Parfum, but here that grape fresh aroma is much more toned down, and no wonder, because you get a prominent scent of deep, dark, smoky tuberose, and no wonder, because this is a perfume that should feature a scent of burnt tuberose petals, and you get precisely that. Smoky tuberose that doesn't smell too floral or too heavy because it has this darker, alluring, warmer, smokier facets with some hints of grape bubblegum and bits of earthiness, probably from the patchouli. This is the mix of the scent of grape soda and tuberose petals on fire with smoky, earthy, scorched scent spreading in the air, but it's never too much and you'll never smell like smoke or like cigars. No, tuberose here is deep and opulent with bits of freshness and smokiness that is as addictive as it is forbidden, and what can I say? You will just smell sexy. That fresh and slightly smoky tuberose top becomes sweeter as the scent dries down, like some vanilla is also used in this perfume. Grape bubblegummy aroma noticeable in the opening dissipates in the heart, but the scent still has some freshness from the orange blossom. The orange blossom here isn't as sweet as it can be in some perfumes, and overall it's quite subtle, but still present, adding bits of citrusy green freshness to the scent. But this is very much a tuberose dominant perfume that smells traditionally floral, white, a bit lactonic and soapy as well, but florals are deepened with some earthiness and woodiness from the patchouli. You could slightly smell in the background of the top notes as well. Usually I'm not very fond of patchouli, especially when it smells dirty or like damp earth, but here patchouli is only slightly noticeable in the background and it gives darker, a bit earthier background, which together with some smokiness creates a great contrast to white tuberose petals and orange blossom freshness. So imagine you're smelling the sweet scent of white floral bouquet in the air while you're swinging in the forest. This is the combination you get in the heart. It's woody, slightly smoky and earthy floral bouquet that smells lush, carnal, decadent, and just seductive. And finally, in the base, the scent of woody, smoky tuberose is enriched with coffee. CO2 signifies the extraction method used to get the smell of coffee from coffee beans, and therefore coffee in Tubereuse Noire smells better, roasted and raw, like the scent of roasted raw coffee beans or espresso, but it's noticeable only in the background together with woody and earthy notes and bits of muskiness, while white flowers persist as the most prominent note throughout the wear. Therefore, don't expect a very prominent coffee note. It's there in the base, but it's not in your face. The composition is very smooth. It's magnetic, it's deep. So imagine you're reading a book in the forest while drinking espresso and smelling a sweet scent of white floral bouquet next to you. The scent is captivating and it plays on the contrast of bright florals against dark woody background. If you're a tuberose lover and you don't mind bits of patchouli, you will love this because I do. The scent is just mesmerizing. It's elegant and not overly sweet, but it's seductive at the same time because it flirts with darker notes, so it just smells captivating. It has the original L'Interdit Eau de Parfum DNA, but it's not as fresh, fruity, or sweet as the original is. Also, it doesn't have sharpness, roughness, and strong grape-like accord the original has because it smells very smooth. Yes, a bit simplistic compared to the original, but timelessly beautiful. In my opinion, this is so much better. It's softer, it's warmer, and it's a bit smokier than L'Interdit Eau de Parfum. I have every flanker from the L'Interdit range because I personally love it, except the original L'Interdit Eau de Parfum because it's too elegant, too fruity sweet, and too ladylike for my liking, while this one is elegant but also darker, more floral, and super sexy because of that smokiness, and I'm all up for it. On my skin, I get about 6 to 7 hours of wear with moderate projection, and truthfully, this won't be for everyone. It won't be for those who dislike tuberose or white flowers in general, and if you don't like some slightly smoky and earthy patchouli facets, you might struggle with it. Personally, this is a blind by success fragrance. I love it, and it's such a shame this is a limited edition. I would rate its scent and performance with 8.75 out of 10. The last perfume for this video is Tom Ford's Soleil Brulant. I purchased secondhand. It was launched in 2021 and the name means burning sun because it should evoke a sensation of golden sun caressing your bare skin and shining over a remote private island. The bottle itself looks very lavish in a shiny, sleek, metallic golden colored flake and with a glossy white label and plaque on the cap. Bottle's aesthetic matches the inspiration of burning sun, but is the scent just as summery? The initial spray is very sharp, strong, and pungent, and therefore the opening will be challenging for most people. What you can smell is a refreshing blast of citruses with pepper, a lot of pepper that smells more like black pepper than the pink one. The opening is therefore very spicy and citrusy, and slightly sweet because of the honey, but also it has this like aromatic greeness, herbalness, and woodiness. And maybe that's because of the vetiver that can sometimes smell grassy green, dry, and it can have this earthy qualities, and somehow combined with woody facets and other notes, it smells a bit vegetal. I can see why some would compare its scent with the scent of celery, but at the same time, you also get citruses, spiciness, and woody facets. So imagine you're in the kitchen, you're washing celery to make celery juice, while next to you are citruses in a wooden bowl and different spices. This is the opening. It's definitely fresh and vivacious, but somehow notes don't blend well. They fight and clash rather than complement each other, at least in my experience. After 10 to 15 minutes, the scent warms up and changes. Although spiciness and citrusy greenness are always noticeable, especially on my skin, but they are now in the background and they aren't as pungent and sharp as they were in the opening. The scent becomes more ambery and sweeter because of the black honey, which is a sweet, thick syrup used in Egyptian kitchens. Florals come out and they have somewhat dusty, dried quality rather than smelling like fresh flowers blooming in the garden. And even though you can smell some orange blossom, it's not dominant and it shares the stage with amber, honey, woody, and citrusy notes, while in the background you get those spicy green facets. I like the dry down much more, and also I get some hints of like suntan lotion vibe too. Like they use some bits of ylang ylang here as well, even though it's not listed in the notes. So the heart of Soleil Brulant smells like dried flowers next to the opened jar of honey on the wooden table, mixed with bits of citruses and some greenness in the background. And finally, the base. It's really pretty because the scent becomes deeper, warmer, with different resinous, ambery, and woody nuances that truly reflect the warmth of the burning sun. And this is the smoothest stage of this fragrance, but it is still complex because those warmer notes are combined with a nudge of leather and bits of dry lemongrass like vetiver. This is the part of fragrance that reminds me most of the sun, but not in a beach sunscreen type of way Soleil Blanc smells like, but rather like a scent depicting romantic sunset stroll on the beach. Therefore, the name doesn't really depict how this perfume smells. It doesn't transport me to beach or some tropical island, other than in the base where you get this dusty, resinous, sunny vibe that could be described as the scent of sunset on the beach. But overall, this isn't a beachy perfume and I wouldn't recommend wearing it on very hot days because it might be a bit cloying. It's more for spring and autumn, and it's definitely the boldest and the most polarizing scent among other Soleils. This is something you need to test out first because Soleil Brulant is a type of fragrance you will either love or hate. When I saw the notes, I thought I might love it and that it might smell a bit similar to Jean Paul Gaultier's Scandale because you also get honeyed white florals there, but no. They aren't similar at all. Soleil Brulant is spicy, herbal, even vegetal, citrusy, honeyed, and amber scent that is perfectly unisex, and it does smell expensive. Compared to other Tom Ford fragrances that barely last 4 or 5 hours, this one has a decent performance. I get 7 hours without a problem on my skin with motor projection. For me, this was a blind by fail fragrance because I just can't get past that sharpness and a bit vegetal opening, even though I really like the dry down. Therefore, I would rate its scent and performance with 6 out of 10. Of course, the scent is way overpriced, but even though this isn't my cup of tea and I tried to like it for the past month, I have to admit it is creative, different, and complex. And if you want something unique and bold, If you like citruses, amber, spices, and a bit greenness in the perfume, then check out Soleil Brulant. If you found this video helpful and informative, boop the like button, hit the notification bell, and subscribe because that helps this video to spread to more people. And here's how I would rank these perfumes, but keep in mind that these ratings are a combination of performance and scent profile, so they don't often show my personal favorite fragrances, and therefore I will tell you my 2 favorite fragrances from this video after the ranking. On the 3rd place with 6 out of 10 are 2 perfumes, and the first one is Marrakesh in a bottle, a spicy orange blossom with rose and some incensey facet, and the second perfume is Soleil Brulant, which is fresh, spicy, citrusy, honeyed ambery perfume with a unique and bold character. On the 2nd place with 7 out of 10 are also 2 perfumes. The first one is Yves Saint Laurent's Lavalliere, which is a watery, fruity rose with aromatic green fig that smells very refined and fresh. And the second one is Capri in a bottle Lemon Sugar 14, which is a very youthful, cheerful, and nostalgic scent of lemon flavored hard candies. And that means that the first place with 8.75 out of 10 goes to Givenchy's L'Interdit Tubereuse Noire, which is a scent of burnt tuberose petals with roasted coffee facets in the dry down. Scent-wise, my 2 favorite fragrances are Givenchy's Tubereuse Noire and Kayali's Lemon Sugar 14. They have completely different scent profiles. This one is more grown-up, more floral, and more seductive, while this one is fruitier, more sugary. It smells cute, fun, and extremely sweet. And even though they are very different, they just complement my skin chemistry, and I keep reaching for them. This is just my opinion and my experience with these 5 fragrances. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments and let me know which perfume in this video is the best for you and how you would rate them if you had the chance to try them out. And if you want to see the previous episode of this Blind by Video journal, then check out this review next. I will see you there. Bye!